Fellow SBG enthusiasts, in this video, I'm going to talk about the Desolation of Toronto. Alright guys, so as stated in the intro, we're here today to talk about the Desolation of Toronto. Now, this video should have been done a lot sooner. Right after the event would have been ideal. Just however, life has been very, very busy for me. Directly after the event, I left for a family vacation, and then after that, some of you may or may not know, I'm getting married in September, so it was actually my stag weekend last weekend. So, needless to say, this has been sort of the only time I've had to get in front of the camera. I'm sure some of you may notice that there isn't any episodes of PNP being put up. It's just a very, very busy time in my life right now, and unfortunately, hobby has to take the back seat. But that being said, I did want to take a minute and talk about the Desolation of Toronto and touch on some of the key points, some of the stuff I really enjoyed, and some of the stuff that I think as any event organizer would look to, some things to work on, to be sure. And the guys at Blackfyre, they did an absolutely fantastic job on this event, and they were keen to get some input and keen to get some information relayed back to them on what they could do better, what worked. So I'm going to do that here in this video. So I want to touch on some of the stuff that I really enjoyed. The venue itself was, as in the hotel and the facilities, was very nice. I had absolutely no complaints there. There was a restaurant right in the hotel, which was nice. Run over, grab a bite to eat in between rounds or whatever the case was. Full bar service, which was awesome. Always a plus for the P&P boys and anybody from the OHA. I had the absolute pleasure of crashing with Big Papa T-Rex Tony, Adam from Blackfyre, as well as Dane from OHA fame, and Evan, of course. So we were all shacked up together at the hotel and had an absolute blast. So as a lot of people have stated in other videos and comments on here, that's my favorite part, bar none, is the social aspect of these events. It's always a blast. We had an absolute great evening with the Flex out of the States there, Laura and my God, why can't I think of your name? Dwayne, see buddy, not going to forget about you. We had an absolute great time with them. They came up, had a few Canadian beverages of choice, and didn't shy away from the whiskey, which was quite impressive. So cheers and hats off to you for that. That was a really fun evening. So the camaraderie is always great at multi-day events. I think that there's always so much discussion going back and forth on whether it should be single day or multi-day. I myself personally am a big proponent of multi-day events. I look at it as sort of from an investment standpoint. I spend a lot of money on plastic toy soldiers, and I think a lot of us do. And I think that given the fact that so many events are single day, that when the odd 2-day or 3-day event for this matter, comes up, given the amount of money that we allocate to this hobby, both time and money, I really don't see how anybody can justify not, spending that little bit extra, whether you got a budget for it early on to plan for a couple of those type of events throughout the year or whatever. Personally, I think that it's bar none the best event that you can have, because everybody has a chance to get so close, have a great time, party. One thing I will say about single day events is everybody shows up, they game, and then they're gone, especially here in the Canadian scene. Again, I'm talking Canadian scene here. The logistics are so difficult here that so many people generally have a lengthy drive home. So single day events, are definitely bang for your buck if you're getting out to play a game. But if you're looking for that camaraderie and that sort of convention feel, you're not going to get that with a single day event. So big fan of the 2/3 day event that was going on there. We were fortunate enough to get in early on the Friday. Had no idea that the convention was going to open up as early as it did. So myself and Dane got there nice and early, got checked in with the room, caught up with Adam a bit, took a little bit of a wander. That is one thing I will say about this particular venue that is certainly something that I'm sure, both the organizers and for our part, the people that are taking part and contributing from a hobby standpoint can help grow, and that is the actual layout as well as the number of vendors slash, convention-y goodness. That was definitely wanting. I didn't know what to expect. I'd never been to sort of a Canadian. I had sort of tabled this as like a Canadian equivalent to Nova. Definitely not accurate by any means, but also not something that I think should be a negative. Obviously stuff has to start somewhere. So to have people coming out, contributing, taking part, helping get the convention off the ground, hopefully it's something that can grow and get a little bit bigger. The layout was a little interesting in that everything was kind of spread out. So the Hobbit SBG stuff was sort of in its own room. Infinity was like down in the subway station and then up a stairs. Not really. It was just in a different room. And then you had, your normal 40K Age of Sigmar up in the main hall. They had a bar in the main hall. They had a few vendors set up with, odds and ends, the mats, as well as there was some bases, and then there was an artist that had some really, really cool stuff. So, pardon me. I think the important thing to note is there's momentum there. Momentum, there was a pretty good turnout. I think more so for the Hobbit stuff. Frankly, walking through the rest of those rooms, I was really impressed at how well we held our own numbers-wise. And I know Adam had indicated that he was fairly pleased with the numbers and intends fully to run this event again and, grow it next year. So they want to aim for higher player content next year. So it's going to be interesting to see the evolution of this event. And when I say this event, I mean TGX, not the event that Blackfyre hosted, because quite frankly, I'm not sure how you improve upon what those guys did. They did an absolutely fantastic job. I was very, very impressed with everything, the way it was run. For those of you who don't know or maybe don't play it that high a point level, 1,000-point game at 2 hours and 45 minutes it's a haul. Like it's a you're feeling it by the end of that round. So the guys did a great job of giving us some adequate space cushion, where you could sort of collect yourself, run down, grab a beer, grab a bite to eat, whatever the case was, come back, and at least be somewhat refreshed and ready to go, almost out of respect for your opponent. And I think that was really something that shone during the event, was that, as much as they were long events and it took a lot out of you, you had ample time to sort of recoup, get yourself together, so you were playing, you're going to be playing better than a game that ended and you went right into the next one. So the layout of the room was great. Tables were terrific. The prizing was absolutely fantastic. GW helped out. A whole bunch of sponsors came in, helped Adam and the guys out, providing some awesome prizes. There was always 3 of them around, so you had Lewis, Taylor, and Adam. They were always kicking around doing, what TOs do. Adam, of course, running around giving out prizes, snapping pictures and the like. It was a really, really well-run event. Once we got over the air conditioner timing issue, which was awesome, every little bit it would get a little warm, and then the boys would be right on top of it and get her cooled right back down. So it was kind of quirky and fun. You started sweating towards the end of the round and you weren't sure why. It was great. Added to the stress, so it was all good fun. They did a siege thing Friday night, or Friday/Friday night, and I know we were able to get in on the Friday night and get a little open gaming in, and practice with our list, which was fun. I had a chance to play OHA Dane. It was good fun. It was good fun. So, and then the social aspect of it, as I touched on before, absolutely great time. There was some stunning work that was tabled as well. Michael Campbell, I keep saying that, thank you, Evan. Michael Campbell took away Best Painted Good, and it was absolutely fantastic. He did a Fiefdoms army, and it was amazing. He had an absolutely stunning terrain board, display board for his army. The work he put into that was amazing. So well deserved. Hats off to you. That was an incredible piece. And then of course Father Bertrand from up Quebec way took away the best painted evil. With some really vibrant colors. It was absolutely stunning. You'll see pictures of it all over the place. I'm going to throw some stills at the end of the video of the event and sort of some of the tables and prizes and all that fun stuff. But yeah, I mean, what else can I really say? It was an absolutely terrific event. It was 6 rounds, which was a lot. I know there was already some discussion of knocking that down to 5. The only thing that I could say to that personally is at the price point this event was, the 6th game sort of helped justify it to me. Like, I mean, that's you're getting 6 games in. That's terrific. To start dropping it down, or to change the amount of time where you're actually in, like let's call it event time. You know, I think you need to be a little cognizant of that when putting your price point where you're going to put it. For price point, I think the SBG content was fantastic. The quality of the tables, the pricing, your competitors, all that stuff was very fitting. The only thing that was lacking was sort of the convention side of it. So, but that's going to come in time. I really don't want to make that out to be any kind of negative. That's going to come. That's a new event. Know that, been there, done that. KegsCon, where we host Scouring, is a fledgling convention. I mean, it's a small town convention. You know, Toronto, I don't think is going to have any problem growing this once word gets out how well it was run and the like. Whether you're talking Hobbit SBG or you're talking the 40K side, it's going to grow. So I know all about those trials and tribulations, so please don't take it as a negative. It's got to start somewhere, right? So the foot's in the door, momentum's building. There's already been a big ramp up after the event here, especially on the Hobbit side of things, to really push and help to grow it. And you know, the OHA wants to be part of that and help push and grow this event, because it was really well done, and really worth the support. So would I recommend? 100%. You know, go ahead and get locked in the minute those tickets come up. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic time. It's going to be interesting to see what growth comes this year, what changes will be made, and you know, what the team at TGX does. But rest assured, for those of you who are interested in the Hobbit side of things, it will be well worth the trip. Lots of great restaurants near the venue, lots to do. You know, you're right close to Toronto, so for the airport especially. So for those of you who are thinking of coming in from you know, maybe overseas, or you know, somewhere down in the States, you're right there. You're right at the airport. It's an easy trip. And then of course you're in Toronto, so there's lots to do in Toronto. From a tourist standpoint, you know, you can go do all the touristy crap. You can go to the CN Tower. It's a quick ride over to Niagara Falls. Like, lots to do. So maybe you consider rolling it into a big North American trip. Come over, see the Canucks, have a few pints with the boys, throw some dice. Who knows? Maybe that's what happens. But all in all, well done. Hats off to you, Blackfyre. You know, and particularly Adam, of course. Not to diminish from the other two guys, but Adam, you know, being, I guess, what you would call the face of it, really pushed hard and really did an excellent job of promoting and pushing essentially the product. I mean, the event is a product. That's what it is. You got to sell it to people. You want them to be excited. You want them to come. He did that. I mean, he absolutely did that. You know, myself, I was sort of on the fence about it. Had a lot going on. Couldn't make Articon. Couldn't make Nova. Wanted to get to some large-scale Hobbit event, and Adam sold me on it. 100%. Everything he was posting, the pictures, the prizes, you know, it just looked like it was going to be an excellent atmosphere, and he delivered. He delivered big time. So hats off to you guys. Looking forward to seeing what you do with it next year, and to see what the evolution of TGX is, and see where it goes from here. So for those of you on the fence, get your tickets, look into it, go check out Blackfyre Productions, go check out the OSBGL. I'm sure when it gets a little closer to, the OHA is going to be posting something with respect to the who, what, where, when, why, and hows. But keep your eye open. Desolation of Toronto. It was a great time, and looking forward to Desolation of Toronto 2019. That's it. That's it for me. That's all I wanted to do. Quick video. Shout out to the boys. Well done. We'll catch up with you soon.